반짝이는 눈빛 눈이 부셔 매일 날 감싸주는 손길.
He won the company, married the woman of his dream, and built the perfect life. What if the child he raised wasn't his, and his wife was planning something far worse? Hwang Gi Chan had just become the new chairman of YL Group, but that happiness didn't last. Gi Chan had two sons. The older one, Yunho, was born from his relationship with his ex, Kang Jae In. The younger one, Jiho, was the result of an affair with Kang Seri. Gi Chan noticed that Yunho had been feeling anxious lately, sometimes even crying and calling for his mother before bed. Though it hurt to see, Gi Chan chose to ignore it. He believed time would heal things and that Seri could become a good stepmother. But he was wrong. Once Gi Chan became chairman, Seri changed completely. She stopped pretending and showed her true colors. She became cold toward Yunho and gave all her attention to Jiho. Over time, her words turned harsh, and then they turned into physical abuse. It started small, blaming Yunho for dropping toys or criticizing his drawings, but soon she began hitting him when she got angry, especially when people praised Yunho more than Jiho. Yunho was smart, kind, and well-spoken. His teachers loved him. Jiho, on the other hand, was slower in speech and had trouble expressing emotions. Seri couldn't stand hearing that Yunho was better, so she took it out on him. She drank often at night and made Yunho suffer the next morning. Gi Chan noticed the change but told himself Jiho just needed time to adjust. Even Gi Chan's mother, Seok, started to sense something was off. At first, she was just frustrated that Jiho seemed slow, but then she started wondering. One day, Gi Chan's younger brother jokingly questions if Jiho was really Gi Chan's son. He pointed out how smart Gi Chan was, how clever Jae In was too, and yet Jiho seemed so different. This joke left Seok speechless. The more she thought about it, the more she noticed that while Yunho resembled Gi Chan, Jiho did not. Still, she tried to push the thought away, but doubt had already crept into her heart. One night, she stared at Jiho's face, quietly wondering who the child truly resembled. The terrifying idea that Jiho might not be Gi Chan's son began to form. That was the moment the truth started to surface. When Seri sensed that Seok was suspicious, fear took over. The night, sitting alone with a glass of wine, she closed her eyes and remembered her past. In high school, Seri had been obsessed with status. She once stole her best friend Kang Jae In's name tag and wore it to pretend she was the heir to YL Group. With that name, everything changed. Teachers were nicer, students admired her, and she felt powerful. But it didn't last. The real Kang Jae In's mother found out, and Seri was humiliated. From that day on, she was filled with anger. She swore she would take everything from Jae In one day. Years passed and reality was cruel. She graduated from a small college, worked low-paying jobs, lived in a tiny, depressing apartment. Then one day, she saw Hwang Gi Chan on the news. He was a former prosecutor, a rising star in YL Group, and most importantly, he was Jae In's ex. Seri made up her mind if she could have Gi Chan, she could take everything Jae In once had. She learned his habits, where he went, what he drank, when he got off work, and when the chance came, she took it. Gi Chan had been drinking alone when Seri sat beside him. Pretending to care that night, they slept together. Later, she told Gi Chan she was pregnant. She claimed the baby was his, even though she wasn't completely sure herself. Gi Chan, shocked and guilty, agreed to take responsibility. They quietly got married in the US. Seri felt triumphant. She had everything Jae In once had. Gi Chan, the YL name, and the luxurious life, but then she gave birth to Jiho. Unlike Yunho, who was smart and talented, Jiho seemed slow and quiet. Seri tried to ignore it at first, but others noticed, especially Gi Chan's mother. Seok began to ask pointed questions, comparing Jiho to Gi Chan, and hinting that something didn't add up. At first, Seri laughed it off, but her nerves were getting worse. The comment kept coming sharper and more direct, and every time Jiho made a mistake or acted strangely, Seri felt her secret coming closer to being exposed. One night, watching Jiho spill food at dinner, Seri whispered to herself that she couldn't let anyone find out the truth. If Seok discovered Jiho wasn't wasn't really Gi Chan's son, it would all be over. The company, the mansions, Gi Chan, everything would be gone. At that moment, Seri made a chilling decision. She didn't need Gi Chan anymore. She would protect Ji-Hoo and build a new world with just the two of them. Her heart turned cold and she stopped looking back. Now she was planning her next move, thinking of how to get rid of Hwang Gi Chan for good.
'Cause you are beautiful.